Second podcast of the year, and it's a good friend of mine today, unbelievable bodybuilder, natural bodybuilder, I'd just like to point out as well. We could be here all day talking about the titles he's won and everything he does with posing, training, etc. But we'll crack straight on. So today's guest is Mr. Ian Duckett.
Thank you, Craig. I'm really honoured to be on your podcast.
Amazing, mate.
Thank you very much for asking me.
Not a problem, mate. We've been trying to get you on for a bit. We've just been getting everything together for us.
Family life, mate.
Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. So, guys, so what we're going to do is we're just going to do as usual. Ian's said he will come on again. So we'll be off the cuff a little bit then and talk about different things. But you know the score. First time, we're just basically going to find out how he got into training, how he trains, how he eats, etc. So if you want to start, Ian, how we got going?
How I got into training, right?
Yeah.
I've always been interested in fitness, and when I was like 10-year-old, in school, I used to do a lot of running and a lot of the athletics, like javelin and things like that, like you generally do.
Yeah.
And there was a couple of teachers at school who did a little bit of weights, one a maths teacher and a biology teacher, and they got little weights at the school. Right. So I started, very early, 10, 11-year-old, doing a little bit of, weights at school. Yeah. But I was not into it as much. I did enjoy my running, and I was doing a lot of running. I would run, 10 miles at a time, believe it or not. Even at that age, I was a very, very good runner. So I've always been interested in doing something healthy. Yeah. And I think my early influences was Conan comics. Yeah. So I used to buy those Conan comics, and I thought, God, I want to look like Conan. Yeah. And it wasn't long after that actually the Conan movie came out, which I realised then that there was such thing as bodybuilding. Right. Now, really good story to tell you how I got into training originally and became a bodybuilder. Now, I wasn't a really good lad at school. I used to drive my dad mad by always skiving, always being the school idiot, always messing about and just being a tearaway, really. And then, so there was me and maybe three or four other mates, and we were skiving off school the day. By the way, I grew up in Bridlington, which is a seaside town, which is, for a young kid growing up there, it's just the best, and I still love it to this day and go as often as I can. Right. And so obviously, growing up there, you didn't want to go to school, you wanted to mess around on the harbour front, mess around on the beach, and I was on the beach every day, just playing about and that. So we're running around the town, just being tearaways one of the days, and if the police caught you them days, I'm talking a lot of years back, I'm 56 now, so if the police caught you them days, they would proper give you a clip. They would grab you by the scruff of the neck, they'd chuck you in your car, they'd either take you back to school or they'd take you home to your parents, and if your parents went home, then there'd be trouble basically. So me and a few buddies running around the town, spot this copper car. So we ran into the library, the local library. Now you would never catch me in a library for love nor money. You would never catch me reading books. My dad was always trying to make me read all the time, and trying to get me more into sort of like doing something more academic than actually running around doing nothing. So I hated books at that time, and now I absolutely love them. It's one of my favourite pastimes is reading. So we runs into the library, and as you do, you're messing about, you take your shoes off, you're skidding up and down the wooden floors, completely causing havoc. Passed down the sports section, and at first I was looking to see, is there anything on running? Is there anything on javelins and things like that? And spotted this book, Arnold Education of a Bodybuilder. Now, everybody knows this book. It's on the front of it. It was one of with all the mountains in the background. Yes. Oh my God, what is this? Picked it up, honestly, instantly became a model citizen. Instantly. Right. It was like I read through, looking through this book, couldn't believe somebody could look like that. Yeah. Joined the library, kept hiring it out, me and my friend Vince kept hiring it out until we could afford our own. Right. That started me training. Now, who's to tell what direction I wouldn't have taken if I'd not picked that book up? Yeah. Because that was the turning point. That was the trigger what made my life what it is now. All those years of training, from reading that book, I thought, I want to win competitions. I want to write books. I want to own a gym. And I'm not being a knobhead here. This is what I'm doing is it set me goals up. And I remember saying to my dad, he says, right, what do you want to do with your life? And after reading this book, it really motivated me to be an adult, reach for your goals. So I said, look, I want to own a gym, I want to win Mr. Britain, and I'm going to write a book. Well, he fell off his seat laughing. he couldn't believe, No way you'll ever do that. Well, I think I set on the path to sort of prove him wrong to a degree. But yeah, that it shows that the power of something that can vote. Because I could have not picked that book up, what would I have been doing? And a few of my friends didn't end up down the right path. When they were going out, you know, drinking and getting into trouble and fighting and a couple of them ended up in prison, and I don't know where they are now. But I could have ended up down that route because there is nothing life-wise out there in the Bridlington area. You know, up until that point, I was thinking, I just want to be a fisherman. I just want to work on the cobbles because I love the sea so much and the harbour and everything like that. I just wanted to be a fisherman. But that changed my direction of life, and if I hadn't have done that, I wouldn't have had the gyms I've had. I wouldn't have met Louise through training, all the competitions, all my business. 34 years self-employed now in this sort of game now, at least. And all that from picking that book up. Yeah,
amazing.
Thank you.
So where did you then sort of, obviously you probably trained Arnold style, I would imagine, as we all did initially.
Yes.
So how did things progress from there to, because your training's in a kind of a certain manner now and so how did you sort of go from there to
basically not getting the gains? I have a really fast metabolism and I was doing a lot of training. I was doing that where I'd train before I went to school, I'd get up and I didn't have any weights at that time. I'd be in my bedroom doing press-ups, I'd be lifting the end of the bunk beds we had, you know, as deadlifts. I had a chest expander and I might have been doing curls for that, press-ups, usual sit-ups, free-hand squats, run to school, you know, go if I went to school that was, but I wanted to go to school now because there was some weights there. Lunchtime, do more training. Run home after school, do more training. Maybe even go for a run on the night. No wonder I couldn't put any weight on. Dad was like, where's all the food going in this house? Where's all this food going? It was all going in me. I was drinking 7 pints of milk a day and I still couldn't gain an ounce. Then I started obviously getting the magazines all the time. So those were the days before the internet where you'd be so excited. So I'd know each shop and what shop got what magazines in at what time. So I'd gone from getting my Conan comics or whatever Marvel comics I was getting to this one has Iron Man, this one has muscular development coming in at this time. So I knew what date and that was coming in. I missed
those days.
It was just awesome, wasn't it? It was so exciting to see.
Because you were waiting. The trouble now is you can click a button and it's there.
It's just there instantly. You were waiting for it. And what you did was as well, if you got a magazine and you picked some sort of training idea out of it, you'd actually follow that for a full month before you got your next magazine. You know, and sometimes they'd even, you know, separate these articles, so you had to wait another time. So you might get like Robbie Robinson's chest and back routine next month, shoulders and arms. So you'd be doing that, waiting for the shoulders and arm one to come, because there was no way you could search that. So you'd have to wait. So I started to realise that I was doing too much, so I knocked me running down, and then started to like sort of implement ways of training less. So I started to cut it down and noticed I was getting a little bit bigger. So the more I cut down, the bigger I got. It wasn't until I'd started competing a little bit that I'd, as a junior, I did under 18s and actually did really well, and then under 21s. But then I realised when I got into the under 21s, I got into the EFBB British Championships, that I thought it's not the same in this. Why are all these guys like 10 times better than me, all these kids? You know, I thought some of these kids in this room were in the men's section because they were that good. Then I realised there was something not quite right. And when I had a word with the lads at the gym who owned the gym I worked at when I was a young kid and stuff, they said like, what they are on steroids, and I didn't even know what those were. And because being from Bridlington, you had like the boys club gym, you had a gym and this, and then it was like really spitting sawdust places. So you really didn't, you know, like if you live in a city, you really didn't know anything about that. I was very, very naive. And then I started to look into how you would train, you know, as a natural. You know, understood that it was recovery and things like that. And as time went on, I sort of developed a set of principles which I still use to this day as far as training goes, because let me put it this way, I'm quite a high energy person, and if I do, and I burn out very, very easily. I've been gifted in some ways in bodybuilding and not in others. So you know, I can get sharp because I have a fast metabolism, but putting size on is really hard. You know, some people can train a lot and recover from it. you know, like every other day or something like that, and then others can't. You know, it depends on your nervous system, how your nervous system works. And as I've got older, actually, obviously my recovery is even less. You know, so I have to be careful, very careful to make gains.
Okay. So obviously you were reading the magazines, etc. So when did the kind of high intensity more style come in? Where did you read about that, or where did you learn about that?
It was Arthur Jones's articles in Iron Man magazine, and obviously Mike Mensa, because his thickness and his physique was like, although I can't look like that, you can still be impressed by that.
Absolutely.
And you know, and I was like, well, if he's making these gains doing that, so I started implementing some sort of Mensa type style training and got a lot better, a lot better. You know, years later, I was doing, you know, high intensity type work. Years later, as I got, you know, into my best years, from probably 40 to 47, was my best competitive years, because it took me a long time to get the size I needed, and you know, fill out the weaker areas before I was competitive. And those years is when I was doing HIIT work, and I won the Worlds and Pro-Am and British and so on and so on. So those were my best years.
So how were you training? Probably similar to now, is it now?
Very similar.
So what were the workouts looking like then?
The week. I've only trained 3 days a week. When I started to realise that it was recovery, which is the thing. Some people can train 4, some people might have to do 2. But my sweet spot is 3.
Well, I try to tell people 4 should be anybody's absolute
most.
But a lot come to me with 5 and 6, and you're just not going to recover from
No. You think that it's what you've got to do is always be in the gym all the time. And it isn't. It's actually when you're out of the gym is when you grow. And if people paid as much attention to recovery and nutrition as they did the training, you know, they would make far more gains.
Absolutely.
It's basically get your food in, making sure it's good food, and you train hard, rest and recover. You know, rest and recover, eat and recover. And you know, without the recovery, you don't make the gains.
Absolutely not, mate.
No. And so I started training 3 days a week, and as the years have gone on, I've sort of thought about this, and I thought, look, all the programs I've all had a similar vein through them. So, a set of principles basically. So if you can look at it that way. So I dabble in HIIT, and I dabble in something else, and I dabble in power act training, and so on and so on. But they all come down to the same. So let's look at this. So 3 days a week, can't do more than that. I have a maximum amount of sets I do per body part depending on the routine. So maximum amount of sets would be 9. So if it was 3 exercises, 3 sets each. But that is like in a different program. Say I was doing chest and back, for instance, but average is normally about 6. So I might do 2 exercises. So, and that is the sort of most I can recover from. So it's 3 days a week. It's maximum amount of 9 sets per body part. I tend to have to train fairly heavy. So, but I mix and match the rep ranges. Otherwise, again, I don't get the gains from it. So it can be between, let me put it, between 5 and maybe 12 is my highest sort of rep counts, really. And all my workouts can sort of vary in those sort of ranges. Now, what I mean by that is, one exercise can have 5s in it, another exercise could have 8s in it. The next time I train, it might be 8s and it might be 12s. But change the exercises and change the rep ranges all the time. I find that the longer you train, the more you need to keep things changing a little bit. So I generally don't do a routine for more than about 4 or 5 weeks now. And then make changes.
So those, when you say you do say 3 sets, will all those 3 sets be to failure?
Sometimes to failure, sometimes not. Let me give you an example then of like something I might have done in the past. This might have been an off-season type routine. And I was heavily into doing the basics in like a power rack. And using thick bars and things like that. Heavily influenced by a guy called Brooks Kubik, which is abbreviated training anyway. And that really worked along with the intensity. So I used to say it was like a mix of abbreviated training, the Stuart McRobert, Brooks Kubik type thing. But with a little bit more intensity into that. So, you know, I'd work a little bit harder. So you're right with that. Some of the sets are to failure and some aren't. So a program might go, let's say I'm looking at like a basic sort of week. So I would maybe do a chest and back. I generally train Tuesdays, Thursdays and Saturdays. And they'd been most of my days of training, nearly all my training life, to be fair. So let's say Tuesday might be chest and back. After a general warm-up, maybe a little bit of ab work as well, after doing all the warm-ups on your shoulders, rotor cuff work, a bit of ab work and what have you, I might do power rack benching, which is starting at the bottom and pressing up. And I might use a thick bar.
Right.
So we've got thick bars at Dicky's gym. I've got some here as well, and it actually makes the movement a lot harder. But anyway, that's by the by. So you're starting at the bottom and pressing up. After a few warm-ups, I might do maybe a couple of sets of that, maybe 6 or so reps working quite heavy on the benching. Okay. Then it might be 2 sets of like an incline dumbbell. Okay. I've done 6s on the power rack, so let's say I might do 5 or 6s on my power rack, so I might say do 8 on the incline dumbbell. Okay. Then I might do some dips as well, and maybe do 2 sets of dips, maybe working to 12 or so on that. Right. You know, progressing weight after a warm-up, working as hard as I can, but not with the force reps and negatives and things like that. Then that, and then back might be 2 sets of chins. With added weight, and you know, might work in sets of 8 in that. Chop and change around all the time to keep the body off guard. I might do bent over row and I might do deadlifts, 2 sets of each. Okay. So you can see that that's 6 sets per body part, heavy basics, done in pristine style as well. Yes. You know, so if I'm deadlifting, it's not bouncing it off the floor. Yeah, absolutely. It's every rep is reset, tight, up, slowish. I don't work to any sort of speed of the reps, but it's under control all the time. Because as you get older, you're obviously more prone to injury as well. So what I've done now is, the Thursday workout would be shoulders and arms. Chest and back is quite a hard one. There's deadlifts in there, there's power rack benching in there, all the heavy basics. So shoulders and arms is not as taxing on your nervous system. So that's why it's stuck in the middle. So I might do like rack shoulder presses, maybe with a thick bar or a normal bar. Setting the pin so it's just underneath your chin. Back about the back of the upright maybe only 70 to 80 degrees. So it stresses a little bit more upper pec and it's a little bit less strain on your shoulders. Might do heavy laterals. They might have a bit of a kick but heavy on them. So I might do 6s again on the power rack. Might do 8s to 12s on the lateral raises. And it might be like a bent over lateral, quite heavy, maybe with the head on a bench, leaning down. Doing those against the rear delts, that might be 2 sets of that. Arms might only have 3 sets. I might do 3 sets of thick bar curls, 3 sets of close grip benching with a thick bar out of the power rack again. And then that's it for that day. You won't need any forearm work. Thick bar work gives you forearms a lot of work. Then Saturday would be leg day. Now, with Saturday being the leg day, it'll be squats, leg presses, a couple of sets of each. It might be stiff leg deadlift. If back's tired, it might not be that. It might be like a hack squat or just a general leg curl. Two hardest sets of each. Now, if you look, now the legs are there, one of the hardest workouts of the week. Now you've got Sunday, Monday off before you train again. So you're getting two more days of recovery. So you've got to pay attention to recovery. Absolutely. There would be no point deadlifting on a Monday and then doing legs again on the Thursday or something like that, because you won't recover from that. So that might be like an off-season type program. Coming into a competition, this is very similar to what I did. 2007 was one of my best years. And then I was getting ready for the Worlds, and as I transitioned from that into a little bit more HIIT style. So my sets might have only been 3 per body part there. But each one was taken to failure. So I might have gone flies, straight onto benching, 1 set of dips. Bang, 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 done. Chest done. Back might have been, you know, stiff pullovers maybe. Straight onto a chin with added weight. A deadlift, done. You know, after warm-ups, that's it. So it was like that. Lateral raises, straight into a shoulder press, done. You know, that type of thing. Legs might have been not as rushed out. I might have gone leg extension, straight into a leg press, had a breather, maybe did a hack squat then. You know, and then took the hack squat maybe to fail with, you know, stripped down set. Or rest pause, something like that. And what that did was, I started off, so my volume was fairly high-ish, 6 sets per body part. And as it got towards the show, the intensity kept high, which kept muscle on me. Kept the volume less. So I could recover from it. We're not eating as much food. A simple thing to do, but people wouldn't think of that. And it worked amazingly. You know, and I ended up shredded and really full.
Keeping your fullness.
Absolutely.
So, before we move on to nutrition and things, and we've spoken about this before, so you have things like what you call growth weeks and things like that. So how does that kind of rotate? What are they for and what, just so people understand?
I picked this up years ago off a book called Serious Growth, I think it was, which is by Luke Costa and Tom Platz, I think was in there with him. Now I did pick up a lot of things out of that book. Tried it for like 2 weeks or something like that. Nah, it's not working. Obviously, you know you're overtraining.
Yeah.
When you get irritable and all the rest of it, and you're like falling out with yourself, you've definitely overtrained.
Yeah.
Quick one is I know when my training's going well when I'm starving hungry all the time.
Yes.
Because what it is you're stimulating metabolism. You know that you're recovering. If your appetite's really good and you're in really good mood and everything else, you're recovering from your training, you're making gains. You don't have to be dead on your feet.
Yeah.
So if you're feeling tired out, you are tired out, you need to back off.
Yeah.
You know, and that's where you'll get your gains. It's being smart.
Yeah.
It's hard but smart.
Yes.
Train hard but be smart.
Yeah.
So I picked up those out there because they had growth weights in that. So you would do a block and then do growth weights.
Okay.
That was one of the things I managed to keep in. And another thing he had in there, which was jump sets, which is not doing a superset, which is what we're doing at present.
Okay.
But you go from one exercise and don't rush it, and then you go on to another one.
Get you.
And by the time you've gone around like a block of exercises and you come back to the first one, you're really fresh and your strength stays up really, really well. So a jump set might be, I might do rack benching. All my partners do their sets of rack benching, then we move over, meander over, and then we do a deadlift.
Right.
All do is deadlift, then meander back, all do is it. It keeps the strength up on the two.
Yes.
So it's really, really good jump set. So I picked up a lot out of that.
And
so
are those sets a little bit less intensity?
Yeah. I'm not training hit at the present.
No,
What I will do, as Joe gets closer to the show, she'll be doing. We'll intensify it even more.
Yeah.
But if we're intense now, we'll burn out.
Yes.
But the growth. Getting back to your question, growth weeks are like. I did them for years after reading that book, so I kept them in.
Yeah.
So I might do 4 weeks of really intense training.
Yeah.
And then what I do is, what's happening is when you're in training that intensely, all your energy is going to trying to recover from that workout.
Yeah.
Right. So you're training hard, and your body to grow and to recover from that needs energy as well.
Inroads building up.
Absolutely.
So
absolutely. So if you're building that up to a peak, and just before you start to get overtrained, and for me it's about 4 weeks.
Yes.
So you're building that up to a peak, and then you drop off all that intensity completely.
Yeah.
Right. You get like a shoot up of energy, which is going to go to growth. What was being used to try and recover.
Yes.
So you back right off, and a growth week is where I might only do 2 workouts that week.
Yeah.
And only do the basics, but not take it anywhere near.
Just kind of going through the motions.
Yeah, if I was benching £200, I might only do £150.
Yeah.
If I was doing chins with weight around my waist, I won't use any, but I'll do the movement slower. It's basically just to tick your body over, keep everything in tune, but yet not overdo it.
Yes.
And then you'll find by the end of the week, your energy's like shooting through the roof. Now, all that energy now is going to filling you out.
Yeah.
And you still eat clean.
Yeah.
I'd concentrate that week of having more green teas, taking branched chain aminos, more vitamin C, eating even better, trying to get bed earlier.
Yes.
Anything I found what was, stressing me out, chill it out completely, try and get rid of it. Yeah. Allow the body to recover and get a little bit of a growth spurt, and then you're ready again. Boom, you go for another 4 weeks.
So you only do that for 1 week?
1 week.
1 week, okay. And then you're at it again for 4 weeks?
At it again for 4 weeks.
Okay, right.
And then generally now what I've done as the years have gone on now, so I'll back off for that growth week and then I'll change the routine.
Get you.
So we're doing the routine for about 4 weeks, and I've found that the longer I've trained, and it is for generally everybody, even clients I train and things, the longer you train, the quicker your body is to adapt to it.
Yes.
So it builds muscle, loses muscle, builds muscle, loses muscle, because it's so used to doing it.
Yeah.
It uses it as energy, on and on, and you gain, your body adapts to an exercise very, very quickly. So even changing the reps or changing the angles slightly or changing the type of training within those set of principles, what I mentioned, that is where I'm at really. So the routines change quite often, but the principles remain the same.
Great stuff. And I know you don't really do much cardio work, do you? I know you do some walking.
I do some walking.
Probably the best one anyway.
It's the best. It's the best one, I'd say.
But mainly, obviously, you're working quite fast through your workouts. And I think people need to understand that, because a lot of people don't believe how good it can be for your heart when you're moving quick through workouts and everything, etc. Because as we were talking about before, your heart only works one way.
Yeah, it is. It's like Bill Pearl said.
Absolutely.
Your heart only knows elevation. It doesn't know where that elevation's coming from.
Yes.
It could be, stepping up some stairs. It could be training with weights. It could be, moving some furniture. It can be anything. It only knows elevation. So yes, I've always trained fast because I get focused.
Yeah.
get it done. I'm very quiet before I start training, because I still get nervous to this day. It's a leg day.
I do.
And you still get those
any
butterflies.
workout I do, because I don't think you would. Sorry, actually, it's all about you, this, but I'm just in that exact same as you, that if I are a little bit nervous,
you're tossing it
ain't going to go well.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? There has to be a little bit of fear there for me.
Yeah, there is.
Because it's so important what I'm doing. And like you, it's very short, it's very small what I do, so it has to be right.
It has to be right.
You know,
if you're only doing a few sets, you can't piss about. You've got to be mind to muscle connection, and a lot of people going about this, but the mind to muscle connection is there.
Yes.
You know, I can train with somebody who you know, might have trained quite a few years, but yet they can do the exact same exercise but not get the feeling I'll get.
Yeah.
And I go, did your triceps ache?
Yeah.
And they'll go, oh no, I can't feel anything.
Yeah.
But yet my triceps would kill him from 2 sets.
Yeah.
Because what it is you're in tune with what's happening.
Yeah.
You're in tune with the movement.
Yeah.
And a lot of people mention this, but it is very, very important.
Yes.
Is mind to muscle connection.
Absolutely.
Now, people think that isn't, but everything is visual. Everything is visual, isn't it?
Yeah, of course.
So your mind doesn't know. People putting these things on now, those virtual reality things.
Yeah.
And yet they think they're walking out on a plank and some friends doing that, and they're like, they don't go. Because the body can only visualise that.
Yes.
And it actually thinks it's happening.
Yeah.
And its brain can't define. Well, it's the same with training.
Yes.
So, you know, if you visualise your workout, you can actually feel yourself tightening.
You can, yeah.
Your heart rate going, and your adrenaline kicking off.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing. You've got to actually visualise before you train.
There's got to be a little bit of fear there.
Absolutely.
You know, because you know how hard it's going to be. And you know where you need to go to get that end result. It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
You know?
People. Let me say it this way: people piss about too much with what is the ideal program. They're thinking that they're going to find something that is ideal and it's going to give them all the one, like the Holy Grail. What is the ideal supplement? How many days a week should I be training? On and on and on and on. Which supplement? How much protein? Should I be keto? Should I be this? Should I be that? Basically, stop pissing about. The catalyst to it all is hard fucking work.
It is, mate. And that's
it's
lost
training.
now. We've spoken about this on every pod. It's lost, is that?
The catalyst to everything. I've seen people eat a shit diet. They could eat Skittles, fish and chips. Right, and they've trained unbelievably hard, and I've seen amazing transformations.
Well, you see, this is where I differ from most, and I know you will agree with me on this. If you had 2 identical people, and you put them on these perfect so-called diets, but they train how most people do. But you take the other person that's exactly the same,
absolutely,
and you destroy them. But again, focused that they're recovering properly. Excuse my French, they could eat shit and they'll still look better than that guy.
They still would.
Because training is the thing.
It's the thing.
It's like going on holiday. You could put best sun cream on the world, but if you lay out on the moon, you're not going to get brown. The sun is the key, you know, and I keep saying this to people.
And I've seen that
lost.
So many times. I've had guys, youngish guys, come to me, and I've done like a HIIT type program, and I want to train 3 times a week. I said, to be honest, I think you'll only need 2. Because the trigger is me stood over them.
Yes.
You're pushing them because you're making them go further than they would do themselves.
Most definitely.
And I've seen lads do that, and they're drinking beer, and they're eating pies, and they're eating fish and chips, and they're eating a crap diet, and they've made unbelievable progress, so much muscle. Because the body will, when it's under stress like that, it will rob calories from fat cells. Because basically they're training harder than they're eating. And they'll still get what it needs out of the crap food they're giving it because it has to survive.
It has to.
And it's thinking, frick, you know what you're doing to me. But that coupled with good eating and a good supplementation, good natural supplementation, you will look amazing. You will win world titles doing that.
Absolutely.
So that was my key all along. I was thinking people are missing the main thing here.
They are.
They're missing it. You know, and I've had a lot of, not being an obed, but I've had a lot of guys come to me and they've been, you know, I train really, really hard. And back in the day, I could hold my own with anybody, whether they're on steroids or anything. You know, and I can still train hard to this day. Not as hard as I could do in my prime, but I can still train really, really hard and I move very, very fast. And that's the key to it. Is you know, the intensity's turned right up. I always say to people, right, turn that dial up. Turn that dial up now, start working, now turn it up more, go. and you have to, you know, push.
The amount of people that's come to me of that I'm a super hard trainer and we do a set or something and they just destroy you know. And it's nothing. I'm as you won't be. I've never been a person that's trying to destroy somebody.
No.
But you're taking someone to where they need to go.
Where they need to go to improve. You're not being a div by doing that. You're trying to make that person improve, and you understand that it's hard work is the key.
Absolutely.
The catalyst.
I always look at it this way, Ian. When people are immediately on a post these days after training, I've just destroyed my legs, you haven't, because you know, when you've just done legs, you want to go lay down. You don't want to get in your phone out going, let me just instruct you on what I've just done and how I've destroyed my legs.
Yeah,
you know, I mean, that's how you know people are training.
You know, I've laid on the floor sometimes for 10-15 minutes before I get up. I remember doing a HIIT program once, which was all body, and that was every 4th and 5th day. We trained every 4th day and every 5th day if it was dead.
Yeah, I wanted to talk to you about this because you want this a guy that we're putting you through.
Oh yeah, unbelievable. Mick and Sue Moran over in anyway, not far from me. I can't remember. It might have been. I can't remember where it was, but me and my few friends went there, and I was like training sort of mentally then, and I was like, oh yeah, just like what you said. Yeah. You know, I said, I train really hard. I compete. I won the British, blah blah blah. And he actually said to me, right, let's see how work you had. Let's see how hard you work, little man. Yeah. He called me little man straight off. I thought, shit. Anyway, he trained me like I've never been pushed before. And I've trained with a lot of people. Yeah. Robbie and what have you. Yeah. And you know, Robbie's is a different intensity, a different way of training. But yeah, that was a wake-up call to me completely. And I was training, you know, hard.
Was that kind of very Arthur Jonesy type?
Very much. Yeah. He'd actually done some work with Arthur Jones. Actually, if I'm not wrong there, he actually trained with him a few times. Right. And it was in this old 2-car garage with a big hole in the middle for obviously working on cars. Right. And there was only a few boards over that, and you could see right down into it. Nautilus leg extension, he had the proper leg extension in there, and a few other bits he'd welded together. Right. So it was a bare basics. It was a decline bench. It was like, you know, dipping bars made out of, you know, scaffolding pipes and stuff. He'd welded them all together. And he put us through like an all body workout. I mean, I can tell you what it was. We did leg extensions for 20 reps. Right. Paused at the top. Yeah. Click. Right. Paused. Click. Proper form. Proper form all the way down. By that point, I was like, 4 reps till I got to 20. He went, right, squats. Yeah. Right, no rest, under squats. There was 80k on. Right. 20 and a 10 aside. Maybe do 20 reps, pause at the bottom. Right. Right. Then he put me back on leg extension. And it was the same weight, but he did strips down sets and 4 reps till I got 20 again. Yeah. Yeah. Unbelievable. Then he went, right, decline bench. Passed me a bar, him and his missus, and I had to go declines to failure. Right. I think it was the same bar they'd used off the squats, so just lifted it over and passed it to you. Yeah. Then it was, I think, it was chins. Yeah. Pause at the bottom, pause at the top. Yeah. Then it went from chins, I think, to press behind the neck. He had a little bar set up, maybe do press behind the neck, low pulley row.
Were these lower reps on the upper body?
Oh no, everything was 12. Oh yeah, sorry, 20 on the legs. Yeah. Everything was 12. Right. No matter what you did, you had to get your 12. If I failed at 6 on press behind the neck,
strip weight, carry
no, he kept me going. Force reps, negatives, force reps, negatives, till you got it. Right. Right. So it's like, if you think of that, it's just one set for shoulders. It was low pulley rows. Yeah. Barbell curl. Yeah. Rope push down. I'd done dips prior to that, and then I think I went back to dips at the end. Okay. So the whole workout was probably 15 minutes.
So did you do anything specific for hamstrings and calves, or it just those basics?
Just those ones, no, nothing. I didn't even touch calves or anything like that. That was like a basic program. I ran outside. I was sick, like violently sick on the grass outside. Violently sick. Laid on the floor.
Your nervous system.
Absolutely wanting to crawl on any cold bit of the concrete I could get on. Because I was just absolutely, legs were like somebody was stabbing them. Yeah. Everything was pumped so much, I couldn't even clasp my hands together. Nothing, forearms were like pumped. That was an awakening. My buddies went through their workout. I laid on the floor. Well, I must have laid there half an hour because I saw both of them come out. Yeah. And they were doing the same, sick and that. So, and then we actually went back there a few more times. Right. So, because I knew that's what I needed.
That's how you put Vieta through it, wasn't it?
Yeah. You know. I knew that's what I needed. And then, so we did that. And I said to the lads on the way home, we have been pussies. we think we've been training hard. Yeah. We need to really train hard. So we set this program up very similar to what he'd done. And we did this, I think it was about 12 exercises on one workout of the week. Went about 3 or 4 days of rest, then there was about 8 exercises on the other one. This one had squats and deadlifts in.
Okay.
That might have had leg extensions, leg pressing. So I wasn't overloading the lower back. Saying it now, I want to do it again. Right? Because I know that you just screw so much from it. And we embarked on this 12-week to see how much gains we could gain out from it, right? So we did body fat test. And I think it was about...
Were you doing that every week for the 12 weeks? Because again, recovery.
Every week. I didn't do any, because it was like, train, rest 3 or 4 days.
Do it again.
Do it again. And I kept incrementally putting the calories up, and it wasn't anything fancy. It was bagels, it was you know, basic meats. I was having Metrex with olive oil in it and stuff to keep the calories high. Ended up going up from about probably 3,000 something calories up to over 5,000 in those 12 weeks period. So just eating good food, eating. But those training sessions, every workout you got an extra rep or you added a little bit more weight to the bar. And my strength increased unbelievably. I'd gone from squatting, those style what he showed me, to give you an idea, by the end of the 12 weeks, I'd gone from squatting, and I've been a 4-plate squatter up to that point. But doing them the way he was having me do you know, 20 reps or so might have been a plate and a 10. But I was getting those reps with 2.5 plates by the end of 10 weeks. It'd gone up that much, or just shy of 2.5 plates. So I've gone up a plate aside. And everything else had corresponding strength as well. Decline press, everything had gone up like massively. So over those 12 weeks I'd probably gained something like, I don't know, it was like about 17 pounds. Wow. It was all muscle as well. A tiny little bit of fluff on there, but but it did the body fat test. The body fat test had only go up maybe a point or 2. But yet I'd gained that much muscle. And everybody in the gym thought, oh, Ian's gone to the dark side. Oh, Ian's gone to the dark side. Because it looked like a little box. I mean, now I'm like 10 stone 10 or something like that. And I was like 12.5 stone or something. So I did look like a little box. Could get jeans to fit me, my legs shot up, my thighs were about 26 and a bit. That height was 26.5, and my arms had done well over 17 and a half. Really got big. And it just proves that the catalyst to it all was hard work. Not a fancy routine, nothing. Everything grew.
So what made you stop doing that?
Too hard.
Just burning out.
It was burning out. It got to the point where I was so, like you said earlier, you get to the point where you're scared to train. I would like not sleep literally the night before because I was crapping myself about what I had to put myself through. And I think that's first 12 weeks I was sick nearly after every workout. Now people think, oh, stupid get, what are you doing that for? Well, I was so wanting to
see how
far I could go, you know, naturally, and I was so into wanting to compete and be better that's what I had to put myself through. You know, I'm completely natural for life, and that was I had to put myself through that amount of hard work to get where I wanted to go. And it really did improve me size-wise, and then years later that held instead.
Do you think you'll do it again at any point?
I really will. I might not go as intense as that, but I will definitely do that again. You know, probably when Jo's finished her comps, because it would bugger up her competition. She's training for figure, but she has done it with me in the past. We have done it before. And it is really good. I've got a friend, Russ, and he trains 3 days a week, sort of all body programs. And he's 61-ish, I think, and he's got an amazing physique. And all he's ever known is that. All he's known is 3 days a week, high intensity training. He got a book called, I think it's 10 weeks to sort of something or other, one of the Ellington Down books. And he's followed that since I've known him. And he's got an amazing physique. He's pushed me through a couple of all body workouts. He's a really good trainer. He's a good lad, and he's an amazing physique at 61.
Amazing. So nutrition wise, how did it start, and then how has it evolved for when you competed, and how are you eating now?
I eat really much.
So you're a very high carb guy, aren't you? Which again, metabolism and everything.
Yes, it is. And I've tried like the lower end of the carbs and things. And before a competition, I might like reduce carbs a little bit, as it's the easiest variable to mess with, really. But it's what. Look, I've always been a really clean eater. I've always been into healthy eating. And a bit of a nut back in the day, because way before organic was trendy or hip, I was eating organic food. Because I was always doing that. I used to get, when we had the gym, I used to have a section which had a health food store in it. And you know, I've always been into healthy eating, and that was influenced by Bill Pearl. Because I've read, obviously, Keys to the Inner Universe. Bill Pearl has always been one of my favourite bodybuilders of all time.
Bill a very high carb guy.
Yeah, he was an overall lacto-vegetarian. He still is.
Yeah. Because I read something on him where he did a super high protein once, he tried it, and then he did his usual, which were lots of potatoes and things, and he said he grew better then.
Yeah,
when
absolutely.
He was doing the meat.
He didn't do the meat, and I don't do a great deal of meat. I've had 16 years of being like sort of a vegetarian to a degree, if not more, and on and off. And at the moment I'm not eating a great deal of meat. That's not to say that I might not have a piece of chicken away. I don't do it for any reasons other than I can't digest it as well.
Okay,
you know, my digestion's not as good as it was when I was younger, and I've had my fair share of like eating chicken and turkey like everybody else for competitions. But I've actually looked really good and won shows not eating meat, and I've looked really good and eaten meat. Okay. So I'm somewhere in the middle there. Yeah. But again, principles. I always eat as organic as I can. I always eat really clean. I eat 6 to 7 meals a day, small meals. And I eat as natural as possible. Really. So you know, but I do eat a lot of carbs. And one of the things which I tell people, I tell some of my clients, because people have got, I'm thinking of going on to vegan, or I'm thinking to do vegetarian, or I'm thinking to do keto, and I go, right, make up your own diet. Make your own up. You can give it a name if you want. You can give it a name. All these diets that are out there are just fads. They're all, you can develop your own way of eating. So for me, mine would be, it's a little bit vegetarian with some fish in it. Right. So, you know, you could call it, but I eat eggs, I eat cheeses, I eat milk products. And every now and again, I'll have salmon or tuna. So that's like the basis of it all the time. I eat a lot of bread. Even when I'm getting ready for shows, I can eat huge amounts of rye bread and things. And still get really full eggs on, bits of cheese, stuff like that. And I feel really, really healthy on things like that. So I'm saying, you know, all those diets out there, you can make your own. It's got to be sustainable, what you can do for life. Yeah, I agree totally. You know, what makes you feel good and look good, keeps you lean, keeps your muscles full, recover from your training. And you can make your own diet, or give it a name if you want to. So do you use protein powder as well? Yeah. So what would run us through what a typical sort of off-season, when you competed, and say even now, if it's any different, Max? Right, let's have a look at an off-season. So I try and keep my calories as high as possible during the off-season, and be all from good foods as well. So let's look at a typical day. So I generally start off with something like, if I'm training that day, for instance, I might do oat cakes, because there's a lot more carbs in that, and what I'll do is I'll make these, so it's oats, it's eggs, it's raisins, it's banana, it's a little scoop of protein powder in there, mix it all up, put it in the oven. So there might be like 900 calories in that. Then train. After training, but from breakfast to training might be like nearly 3 hours. So generally that's gone through my system now, and I'm pretty clear. So I'd train, and what would happen then is, after I've trained, I'd have a protein again, maybe some creatine and glutamine in it, and then maybe have some rice cakes, the Snacker Jack rice cakes. They're the only rubbish I would possibly eat. The reason they're there is because we need the simple sugar. Other thing, you could get a bagel in, something that's going to go into your system quick, or fruit. So you get something in which is going to go into your system quick, basically to replenish the carbs you've just trained on. Within an hour, I'm having a meal. So my meal might be eggs, it might be rice, or it might be, you know, rye bread. It might be like a homemade lentil soup, for instance, with a lot of rye bread. It might be cottage cheese mixed with nuts and raisins. So generally just something good food, but with everything in there. What I try and do is have each meal is protein, fats and carbs. Every meal. Because that's the components of your body. It'll take what it needs out of each one, and it digests slower, and your insulin levels stay level. A few hours later, I might have like some fruit and some nuts. It might be a handful of nuts and maybe a handful of dates, maybe an apple, banana. Then we come into sort of tea time. Tea time, if I'm eating fish that day, I might have a piece of salmon, I'll go for wild Alaskan, something like that. I don't have farmed anything like that. If it's farmed, won't touch it. So I'll go for wild Alaskan. It might be a load of brown rice, huge salad. I'm into salads at the moment. I've been doing these big salads with everything in them, and I've been putting olive oil on them and cider vinegar, mixing it all up and eating that. And I'm getting obviously a lot of calories with the oil in there as well, all the fibre and everything else. So I'm into salads at the moment. And before bed, it might be Greek yogurt, because Greek yogurt is really high in amino acid lysine. Again, go full fat, I don't go low fat anything, I go try and get it as a natural state as possible. That might be some natural canola, I might just have berries with it.
Yes.
You know, I might mix some protein powder in it or peanut butter in it to give the calories even more.
Yeah.
But I'll add that before bed, because what yogurt does as well is it aids your digestion through night, and it's good for gut health.
Yeah.
So through the night, it's slowly digesting, and also good for your gut health. So when you get up in the morning, you're fresh and ready to go with another good day's eating.
Okay.
As I got ready for a competition, really simply, what I would do is, and I've done this with clients as well, I don't count macros, don't count protein. I've done it, but the years I was most successful, I didn't. This is the best, and the most success I've had with clients, this is what I do.
Okay.
So what I would do is, for me, let's just go for me personally, right? So I would set out a baseline, what I'd call a baseline. So it might be eggs, oats, protein drink, it might be meal replacement, it might be eggs again, it might be tuna, it might be potatoes and salad, it might be a meal replacement again, it might be, you know, whatever at night, it might be eggs and cheese or something like that, or, you know, maybe fish again, and then similar for supper.
Right.
So it really ain't altered, there's no science to the diet whatsoever. But this is my baseline. This is what I've been eating to my appetite balance.
Yes.
So all I do now is eat that for 3 weeks.
Right.
Nothing more, nothing less. Same amount of food, day in, day out.
Right.
Same amount of water, supplements at the same time. So I might branch chain amino acids with those meals, vitamins, liver tablets, old school.
Yeah.
Boom, boom, boom. Same day and out. Groundhog day.
Yeah.
Right? 3 weeks go by and my body's adapted to that amount of food I'm giving it.
Yeah.
All I do now is,
reduce
a little bit of oats out of that.
Yeah.
Take a bit of rice out of there.
Yeah.
I'll take that, you know, rice out of that meal as well. Just a few spoons of each.
Just simple.
Carry on, another 3 weeks.
Yeah.
On again. Take the peanut butter out.
Yeah.
Take one apple out of that one.
Yeah.
Take a banana out of that one.
Yeah.
3 more weeks.
So simple.
On and on. So it's so simple.
Yeah.
So it's baseline, tick away.
Yeah.
As I started to come down, started to look really sharp, what I do then is, right, no more body fat left on me.
Yeah.
Right, and sometimes then you get to that point where you're carrying on and on and on, and your body will hold on to that tiny little last bit of body fat you've got.
Yeah.
Because obviously now you're getting to a point where you're training really hard, and obviously you're restricting, your calories are restricted now. Yeah. So what I do then is, which a lot of people are like, oh, right, I'm 5 weeks away from the show and I'm looking pretty good.
Yeah.
I need to get sharper. Now, a lot of people will go, right, I'm going to do CD now. I'm going to get rid of this last bit. I'm going to go to no carbs.
Yeah.
What I do is put food back in.
Right.
Back more oats, put my banana in here.
Yeah.
What I'm doing now is I'm building metabolism.
Yeah. So
metabolism's getting higher now over the so many weeks, and I keep adding my calories up week by week.
Yeah. So
let's say, argument's sake, I'm at 4,000 calories when I start, if I were to work the calories out on this baseline.
Yeah.
Then I've got down to about 2,500, 2,700 after weeks of doing this.
Yes.
By the time the comp comes, if I were to work it out again, I'm up at 4,500. I'm up higher than I was before I started.
Right, yeah.
So, you come round to the show, you're really full, you're really shredded, you're eating shitloads of food, your energy's really high, you're still training hard, you manage to keep all the muscle.
Yeah.
Simple as.
Right, okay.
And that's how I worked it as it went round.
And did you do that with clients as well?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
I've just done it with Jo now. She's done 3 weeks of having her calories really high. She's dieting for a show. And for a girl, she was on about 2.6, 2.7.
Right.
So we just reduced it now to just, if I was working out calorie-wise,
yeah.
all I've done is write it out.
Right, yeah.
There was her baseline, what she's been done for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And now I've just given her another baseline. And I know instinctively, if I swap those oats she was having for a couple of eggs and a bit of cheese, the calories are slightly less and it's a different food group for her.
Yeah.
And I know her body's going to react different from it.
Yeah.
And then again, but she didn't know it, but the volume of food's up there, the same as she was eating, but I've reduced the calories by about 600.
Yeah.
People fair to guess.
Complicate things too much.
What's your macros? I can't. If I had a quid for every time somebody does that to me, what's your macros?
Yeah.
Macros. Yeah. Eat your food and eat what works for you.
Yeah.
And if you're working hard enough and you're not eating shit food, I always say, if you train hard and eat clean, that's exactly what you'll look like you do.
Yeah.
If you training steady, lackadaisical, and yet you're spending most of your time drinking beer and eating loads of pizzas, that's exactly what you will look like.
Absolutely.
Very few and far between are some people where the freaks of nature, where they can eat rubbish and still, look really good.
So how much water do you drink normally?
I used to do it where I was on 3 litres of water, plus everything else. But I found that my sweet spot was 2 litres of water a day. Because my size, how much water are you gonna hold? I don't need to swim 4 or 5 litres a day. 2 litres is my optimum. Remember that I'm on a lot of veg. I'm not like a keto thing where people are not eating any carbs. I'm in a lot of fruit and things. Even getting ready for a show, I'm still eating bananas. Still eating, lots of vegetables and lots of fruit. So you're getting your water content and your hydration from where it should come from actually natural foods which are naturally high in fluids and water.
What about when you say you're eating eggs? How many sort of whole eggs would you eat in a day? Again, sort of off-season, pre-processed, etc.
Same, 6, 9. I eat a lot of eggs.
Whole eggs, but I've always eaten a lot of whole eggs.
I eat a lot of whole eggs. I once had my cholesterol done, it was like 2.4, and I was eating eggs, cheese, you name it, full fat milk, on about it. Cholesterol is brought up by stress levels, so if you can keep your stress levels down, you won't have a problem. And as long as you're eating natural food, and the eggs I get are from a farm, and so the natural, real free range, fertile eggs. Now, fertile eggs means all the chickens are running around with the cockerels there as well. So these eggs would actually make chicks. So they're a lot better for you. So we, go over by the cabin. We've got a couple of farms we go to and we get trays of eggs all the time. And the difference is unbelievable. But that, like Vince Grandi would say, it's the best, one of the best foods you can eat.
36 eggs a day, you used to recommend.
Yeah, I couldn't eat that, I'd balk at that idea, but I do eat a lot.
People, we had it's probably about a couple of years ago, I put this post on once when I had the gym, and I put about Vince Gronda's thing, and this guy attacked me, the usual freak bodybuilder, and he attacked me about, because I put that Vince believed that the 36 eggs a day was as good as a Dynaball cycle. And I tried to explain how that was.
And
this guy came on and attacked me saying, you don't know what you're talking about nutrition, you don't know what you're talking about how eggs work, it's just fat, it's a load of nonsense what you've got.
He's obviously not educated in that.
Well, exactly, but the thing was, I went back and forth a little bit, but in a nice way, trying to just say, look, you're misinterpreting what I've put. But anyway, just a quick point was, there's a thing on YouTube, I think it's RX Muscle, I think it's called.
Yeah.
Well, Dave Palumbo brought up the exact same thing about 5 days later. And I messaged the guy and I says, did you see the RX Muscle? And he's explained it. Nothing back at all. So I thought, depends who said it.
Depends who said it.
Depends who said it, and the stuff he was sending me back were utter nonsense. You could tell he was a guy on gear. And he was trying to, and he just had no clue, because his basic thing was, you're just telling people to eat a load of fat and it's bad for them and all. And I was like, you're misunderstanding absolutely everything to do with this conversation.
Well, this all goes back to one of the first things we said. The catalyst to it all is your training and recovery. And I'm a big advocate of Vince Grandi. He trained really fast. He kept his sex really low. Didn't train. He trained more days than I could recover from. But, that's by the by. But his nutrition was, your body will tell you what you need to be eating. So he says sometimes he would be vegetarian, sometimes he would eat fish, sometimes his body would tell him to have a steak. So your body will tell you what you need. I believed wholeheartedly in his supplement ideas. So I've had a lot of really natural response from eggs, branched chain amino acids. Had a huge response from branched chain amino acids and liver tablets.
Which now the branched chain are telling you not to take out, they're telling you to use EAAs instead.
I really, essential amino acids. But I've had such amazing results from branched chain amino acids. It's been unbelievable. Like night and day.
Do you still take the liver?
Oh yeah, still take the liver.
I don't take them. I was thinking of going back because I haven't done that.
They're iron branched chain as well.
Take tons of them.
Yeah, they're iron branched chain as well. But you do get that sort of energy effect.
You do,
You're getting the iron, you're getting the hemoglobin iron, the other aspects in the liver tablets are, obviously you can get a lot from them in a natural way, like an anti-aging thing as well. So they're brilliant. You know, but I
mean, we had Ian Allison on, and he used to do 100 a day.
Yeah.
Doing 100 a day. So if you remember, can you remember when he said he threw them all up in his bedroom and he started picking them back?
Oh, no.
So his funds were very low. So he started,
I remember Ian from old, because when we first moved over to Leeds, we trained at Johnny's gym where he was there before he went to his own gym.
I mean, Ian was a hard trainer as well.
Unbelievable hard trainer, amazing physique, and really, really nice man. I spoke to him a couple of times on messages and stuff. He's a lovely guy.
He's a really good guy, mate. He really is. So, so we've done all. So, supplement wise, what else did you do? What would you run through?
Creatine. Creatine's been amazing again for a natural bodybuilder, and that has been awesome. In my time, I really see a difference with that. Maybe it's because I don't eat a great deal of meat. But I see maybe it's because it works because I'm hydrated a lot, because I still eat a lot of carbs. Maybe people who think, well, I don't get any effect out of that, maybe their carbs are too low. Because no matter how much water you drink, it's not going to go into the muscle cell for a natural bodybuilder. It's not going to go into the muscle cell because it's not bound with the carbohydrates. It's not going to go in with the glycogen. So maybe I get a lot from that because I'm a hydrated type person, because of the foods I eat, because of what I drink and what have you. And I don't do alcohol. I used to do a lot of coffee, but I very rarely do coffee now. So I found that I wasn't sleeping on the night with it, so I stopped having that. But creatine's been brilliant. Branched chain amino acids up there. So I'd say for a natural bodybuilder, a good meal replacement if you've got a calorie. Trouble sometimes eating enough meals. So I like the Metrex. I'm on that CPN Pro MR at the moment. I'm on some of that. That's very, very good. I used Myoplex back in the day and stuff like that. But a good meal replacement. One of my basics has always been Metrex. Has been really good because it's high in glutamine. It's high in branched chain amino acids already. My diet's really, really clean. It's all natural foods. But I have to put something in there, otherwise I'll just be eating constantly all day long. And it also aids my digestion a bit. So if I put some meal replacements in there, it's really good. Branched chain amino acids because it lowers your cortisol levels, it allows you to recover more from your training, keeps you a lot fuller, and I think it aids in condition as well. You're really, really tight up in condition. And I picked up that off Frank Zane. Spoke to him on phone at length once about amino acids when we used to run the magazine. And Robbie Robinson, when I spent some time with him, he got me onto amino acids and telling me about branch chains and how he implements in between his meals. And I got, like, from what he was suggesting, amazing results. It was night and day. And a quick sideline on that, when I used to get a lot of girls ready for competitions, like I'd have them taking amino acids, branched chain aminos, that is, and then we're obviously tested all the time. So, a girl would look awesome. They're like shredded, even for a figure show, they've got veins running through their ass. They're natural, completely natural. Before I even train anybody, I interview them regarding, I know it's their own personal thing, but I'm looking after natural ones.
Of course,
So, they do the shows and they test them and they come back and say, you're on, estrogen blockers. And this girl would go, I'm not. What are you taking? And you had to give them the brand, the amino acids, to test them. And the amino acids, branched chain aminos, were lowering their estrogen levels so much that they thought they were taking blockers. So that's how good they are. So they're actually even better for girls than they are for guys. So so it's brilliant for keeping if your cortisol levels are down and your stress levels are down. Anabolism is going to be up there more.
Absolutely.
So you have to keep a track on that all the time, and that can be gained from how you train and how you recover, what your nutrition's like. But taking them can just tip that balance up as you're getting ready for a show, and it works amazing.
Anything like multivitamins and minerals? Or
I don't really need to, because
kind of cover it with your food.
If you're eating all organic, and the reason I eat all organic is because here's one thing as well. When me being a natural bodybuilder, my attention is to recovery. And if you're putting like foods in you which are full of steroids and antibiotics and things like that, like they're giving to meat and stuff for chicken these days, if you're putting that into your system, your body has got to battle that, as well as battle the effects of your training. So I think if I eat really clean, it's less for my body to battle against, and I can recover more from my training. And that's why I did it originally, and I did get really good gains from it.
So, final thing, mate, which we spoke about before, with you competing, we've done this with a few other people, because of the craziness that's out there now. what would your like last week for you, your clients, to do with your water, etc., right up to the day of the show? Because the stuff people are doing now, I'm sure you know, is quite crazy.
Yeah, it is.
So,
and it's dangerous.
Natural or not.
Yeah, and it's dangerous.
Yeah, absolutely.
And this is why a lot of bodybuilders are popping their clogs and things like that. I don't know whether they're natural or not. But, right, really simple. Always be in shape well before.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So I would always start dieting and get really sharp weeks before. And like I said earlier, start upping the calories.
Yes.
As it comes to the last week, right, your muscles, you're obviously training quite hard.
Yeah.
So you're a little bit depleted to what you should do.
When did you, sorry to break you off here, but when did you stop training to when, say, the show was going to be?
Right, here's my thing, right? So say I'm competing on the Saturday. My last workout would be the Wednesday.
Thank you, because this is what, because now, people now train right up to the day of the show. Right. And I've never quite, no, because you're inflamed and things, aren't you, from the work?
That was my thing. If you're training and you're training hard to maintain that muscle on your frame, as you've got to do as your natural, you've got to use it or lose it. If you don't train hard, you're not going to keep that muscle. Yeah. So I would know that my chest, for instance, would be, if it hold water, it's not going to be showing any definition. Yes. I would stop training my legs 10 days out from the comp. And all the girls I had competing and stuff, they were like, oh no, I can't watch. No, stop training your legs, rest them 10 days. And it took me a while before I got people to do that. Because I would say, right, now let's have a look, see how they look. And they'd do another show and I'd say, right, let's pull it back a day or two, now see. It took me a while, but then they would realise that the condition and the slimness and the best butt and legs would come back from 10 days. And my condition would really come in from resting the legs 10 days. And my thing was, people like carb up, deplete water, sodium load, all that. Now I tried all that way back when I was a kid. But my best results was this, I would do this. So I would get lean. It's coming up to the last week of the show. So Monday workout instead of Tuesday, Thursday, whatever. I think, right, I'm going to train Monday and Wednesday. So it'd only be upper body, so I might do chest and back, and shoulders and arms, and then rest, just pause the rest of the week, but putting my feet up as much as possible. To get full for that day, right? You can either eat more, which your body isn't used to. Remember, I'm on this baseline now, which could overspill, because people do this where they carb up a lot. They take the carbs away and carb up a lot, and then they get an overspill. And I looked better 2 days ago. Right. So here's what you do: is you carry on eating the same amount of food. What I'm doing now with taking my training away, what am I doing? I'm conserving calories.
Absolutely.
All those calories now, with me not eating any extra, are going to filling me out. So it's as simple as that. So I would put a brakes on activity rather than put extra food in. So the activity went, which allowed it, now I'm resting, which allowed my body to look best on the day. Nice and full, really sharp. I've not overburdened my system by trying to eat too much carbs every hour on the hour, whatever you're doing. I've not like depleted the water and then shot the water back up again. I've kept everything the same, day and out. Groundhog Day, the only thing I'd put on is my brakes on that. And a couple of days before the show, I would put my feet up and watch as many movies and read as many books as I could, and not move. There's those days I wouldn't work. Again, activity's reduced, food's the same. Because the activity is reduced, my body will naturally fill out. Naturally.
What about salt eating? Are you a salt person anyway? Do you put any salt on food? Or?
Natural, I would eat natural sodium. Natural sodium. Exactly keep eggs in the same. I keep, if I was having fish, anything. Everything I would keep the same.
Do you salt your meals anyway?
Nope.
Do you not? No. So what about like fluid then for the last
week?
Keep
it the same.
Just exactly the same.
Exactly the same. On the morning of the competition, I may do on the night of the competition, I may have a little bit more fats before I went to bed. So I might have like some full eggs, a potato and some unsalted butter. You know, just to put some fats into my system, because what that would do overnight is allow me in the morning, because I'm getting up really early, to be nice and full. I would have a good breakfast. I would have my normal breakfast, eggs, toast, whatever I'm having. Off I go to the comp. And at the competition, I would, if it's way back from the comp and I'm like lunchtime, I try and get the normal meal in.
Right, you just eat something normal.
I know what I look like if I was training at 10 o'clock. And I've been training at 10 o'clock all those weeks up to a competition. I know what I look like then, with that amount of food to it. If I've been looking at myself and thinking, God, I look shredded.
So would fluid never change?
Never change.
Never just keep it.
Never change. Keep it exactly the same.
Brilliant.
So you're going to glue the same and everything the same. If you're a natural bodybuilder and unnatural, what it is fluid is keeping that muscle full.
But you're trying to keep homeostasis as well.
Trying to keep
the problem
everything
is
the same.
When you're changing stuff up and down, your body's all over the place, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Well, I think, unless there's anything else, I think we've covered
I've
most
that
things
chat.
there.
It's been brilliant.
It's been amazing, mate. The info's been amazing, and if you'll come back on again,
I'd love to.
We'll do that. We'll do that with other people because we want to set them up, don't we, George, and get those going.
Yeah, thank you, George.
But the info's been amazing, mate. So that's Ian today. He's going to come back on. I hope you've enjoyed it. It's been fantastic for me. So we'll see you again soon, guys, with the next podcast. I think it's possibly Jay Vincent, I think, next, hopefully, if we can nail that one down, and then we'll keep going from there. But again, thank you very much.
You're doing a great job, both of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.